Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another amazing episode of Event TV, where life is an event and we get to live it. So today I'm so excited about the guest that we have today. Talk about an amazing story. His name is Marquel Russell. Hello, Marquel. Welcome.
Hey. I'm super excited to be here. I appreciate you having me.
I'm excited that you are here too. You have such a powerful story. I've been watching you now for maybe since 2020 when I actually went full time in this space. And you are killing it. You do such a great job, and your beginnings are so humble. So let's just dive right in and just tell everybody who you are and what you do in this world.
So I'm God's child. Right? That's who I am. I'm God's child. Sent here to do some amazing things and expand God's kingdom here.
And
So that's who I am. What I do is part-time. We help businesses scale while working less. Because a lot of times businesses think to actually grow and scale more, you got to work more hours and you got to do more things. But actually, we show them how to actually scale their business while actually slashing their work time in half. So that can maybe marketing systems, sales systems, fulfillment and operation systems, or whatever it maybe look like. So we look at a few core systems. So that's what we do part time, help businesses scale while building businesses that give them freedom. So that's what I do part time. Full time, I'm a husband. I'm a father, and that's where the bulk of my attention and time and enjoyment goes. Not that I don't enjoy what I do in the business realm, but of course, my family is definitely first and foremost. So that's what I do. So that's who I am and what I do.
Awesome. I love how you position that family first and then your business is part time. So love it. And I have met your amazing family, your cute little boys. Well, they're probably not little anymore, probably
They
big.
are. They are. It depends on who you ask. If you ask them, they'll probably say they're not.
Right.
I will say they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. So, right now in your business, you help businesses scale. Tell everybody, what does that mean? What does that mean to scale a business?
That's a great question. So, because a lot of times, I even thought this as well, but a lot of times we mistake and we think that scale means faster and bigger and more. Scale actually just means duplication and multiplication, right? So before you can actually scale a business, you actually got to get something that's working. So for example, let's say you got marketing working in a duplicatable, predictable way. You got sales happening in a duplicatable and predictable way. Now, scale means taking what's already working in a duplicatable and a consistent way and then multiplying that. So, for example, let's say somebody is doing enrollment events, for example, right? I know that's your world. So they're doing enrollment events. And
Oh,
let's say they're doing enrollment events and it's working. Let's say they got it, it's going predictable and consistent. An example of scaling that may be duplicating themselves. Somebody else now coming in to fulfill on that event. They used to do all the fulfillment of the event, but them bringing somebody else in on their team who now can actually duplicate and fulfill on the event. Or it may be, let's say it was a 3-day enrollment event and
mhm.
they did all 3 days of content. Scale may looks like them only now doing 1 day and somebody else doing 2 days of the content. So now it freed up the time, still getting the same results, still getting the same level of impact, but they've been able to multiply and duplicate, right? Let's say somebody's sales model is they sell via the phone, right? So let's say they sell via the phone and they do all the sales calls. Scale could look like them bringing in somebody else to remove them from sales calls, or them bringing on a second person who's now taking some of the sales calls. They're taking some of the sales calls and now they're training them and getting them up to speed. So now they can completely replace them and then eventually bring on the second person. So now they've been able to duplicate themselves, and multiply.
Love it. Love it. I love your definition of that. So, scale. pretty much sounds like freedom and just increasing the capacity, basically.
One that's the true, that's why we call it strategically scaling. Um, because that's what we want to do. But a lot of times we can think that scale means just doing more, right? So maybe like just spend more on ads, but just spending more on ads doesn't mean you're gonna, because like ads don't scale linearly. So just because you spent $5,000 on ads and made 30,000 doesn't mean you're gonna spend 10,000 to make 60,000, right? So you
Right.
want to strategically actually go through that. But sometimes people might be like, "Well, scale the ads, just dump more on it, just double it, just double the ad spend," and that's just not how it works.
Right, absolutely. And it is a bona fide, methodical, intentional system that you have
Yeah,
developed. So
100%.
with this, you're doing a great job in the market. And I just want to first and foremost say thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Um, how did you get started with scaling? I mean, like, did you go to college for scaling? I mean, why are you here right now? You
Great
know,
question.
space.
So the only reason I would say I'm here right now is God, right? That's just the grace of God. Like that's the only way I
Oh,
can.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, that's the only way I can explain my story, right? So it's like I did everything but go to college. I actually had a short stint at college. So just to kind of give you some quick context, so I grew up in a drug infested environment. My I
Wow.
single mom. My aunt raised me until I was in third grade. My aunt smoked crack real heavy, and then my mom came and got me back because my mom had me when she was real young, and then but even in that, I was still like drug infested. People who I knew who had money sold drugs, and the people who didn't, they either did drugs or worked jobs or something like that, right? So I ended up going the path that my cousins went down who were selling drugs. So that was I was fascinated with.
Right.
So
What you
so I was
see is
like,
what you will be.
exactly. So I got
Right.
started in what I call the pharmaceutical industry, right, selling drugs. And so in school, I started taking what I knew, because like some people, I played sports, but I was also the dude who had the weed in school. So that was
Hey,
kind of my thing.
sports. What sport? You got to tell. I got to.
So yeah,
What?
I actually played basketball and I played football.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, right? I played basketball and football.
Oh,
So
okay.
so my goal, just like most young black boys, I wanted to go to the NBA or go to the NFL, because again, that's all we could see, right?
See.
I knew I wanted to be a millionaire, and that was the only way I knew to do it. So, or selling drugs at the time. So,
Right.
fast fast forward, I ended up starting a record label where I started doing artist management and club promotions. I brought artists together who rapped and who did beats and created a record label. Did that, and then that led me to being in the club all the time. I got introduced to network marketing from being in the club all the time, which probably sounds super crazy. Got into network marketing, started doing that. Network marketing introduced me to online marketing, and I
Right.
started learning this online marketing stuff, lead generation, to grow my network marketing business. And then people started asking me to coach them. So I found out coaching was a business. So I started coaching, showing them what I was doing on social media to generate leads. This was before even Instagram was even here, right? So I started
Right.
teaching people what I was doing when it comes to generating leads. And we grew that coaching business to six figures. And then we continued to grow that coaching business. And I realized a huge opportunity was businesses don't know how to get clients consistently. So we created a company called Client Attraction University. That company became an Inc. 5000 fastest growing company. In the
Congratulations.
midst of us scaling that business and helping other businesses scale, I realized that what I thought scale was about, just marketing and sales, scale actually is way more than just marketing and sales. Marketing and sales is just a small piece of it. So we
Right.
started a company called Strategic Scale Institute, which is solely focused on helping businesses scale predictably and actually build businesses that can actually run without them.
Love it. Love it. And I love your story. Really, really admire it because you were able to pretty much scale your entire life. And we said that scale was synonymous to free
For
up.
sure.
So I'm so glad that you were able to, the universe, and of course, I believe the universe is God, aligned you to put you in the right place at the right time,
Perfect.
to ensure that you got where you, needed to go. Now, with your past being that you said that you grew up, with your mom and your aunt, was there ever anything inside of you that's saying, I'm meant for more? This is not where I am or where I'm going or I'm anything inside of you that was kind of pulling you forth?
What? Yeah, like I think in every phase of my life, 100%. Like even when I was like in the hood, like it was like, all right, let's knock on doors and take out trash. So I was knocking on people's doors asking to take out trash. I was when we started moving to neighborhoods with lawns, it was knocking on doors asking can I cut their grass. So it's like I was always like entrepreneurial and enterprising. So I always knew that there was something else. Just didn't really know what it was gonna be, but I definitely always had that inner drive to like, okay, God, I know it's something else bigger and better out there.
Right. God was calling you forth.
100%.
Yes, yes. So I love it. I love it. So with the business now, you are a successful business owner. You help other businesses scale. Um, so tell us about a little bit more about scaling and the businesses. Now here I do have a question. When you help businesses scale, pretty much you're taking what is working and duplicating that. Do you ever encounter, or what if a business is working with something that's not working?
So great question. So we work with businesses. So typically businesses are in two phases, right? So we got pre-scale, right? And then we got scale ready, right? Typically, if a business is in pre-scale mode, they're typically like $30,000 a month or less, right? And typically, the thing that we want to figure out is we want to get marketing and sales tight, because if you're not able to predictably and consistently sell your offer, doing more isn't going to fix it. So, for example,
Right.
sometimes people will go out and hire. So, like, I actually made a post yesterday, and I was talking about how a mentor of mine, he had built $100 million business, lost it all, built it all back, and he said the biggest way to bleed cash in a business is to solve the problem that isn't. So a lot of times business owners are solving the problems that isn't. Meaning, let's say for example, they say, all right, I'm gonna hire a social media manager, but they don't have any predictable means. Let's say this social media manager does come in and get them more eyeballs and more attention. They don't
Mhm.
have a predictable means to actually convert that attention to sales though, because they haven't dialed in. Let's say, for example, they want to hire an ad agency to drive more traffic to what they're doing. It's like, well, you don't even have your messaging refined, right? You spending more ads isn't going to fix the issue. So a
Right.
lot of times, the first is we need to figure out, okay, what currently isn't working? Is the offer not working? Is the messaging not working?
What's
Is your funnel process not working? Like, what exactly isn't working? And that's lit. Let's get that going, predictable and consistent before we even get into. So it's like, for example, like let's say for example, somebody says, okay, I see people are doing events, and now they want to do an event, and they go out and spend all this money on an event, whether that's in person or virtual, and they plan to make money, but they don't even have their messaging tight. It's like they don't even have an audience. It's like, all right, cool. Who are you going to invite to this event? And they're like, well, I'm gonna run ads to it. It's like, well, that's gonna be one of the most expensive events that you can do, especially if you don't even have an audience and no reputation or nobody even knows you, unless you just have a crazy budget and you can go pull it off. But however, not but if you got something working initially, and then now they come in and they want to do an event, they can actually take their predictable sales process and then basically be able to put it on steroids with an event, because now they can go from one-to-one selling to like a one-to-many selling environment. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. It makes total sense. And this is so good. So, question, whenever you provide support to your clients, you provide support to those who already have it and ready to scale? Or do you come in and say, you know what? This is the issue. This is the issue. Let's fix this. And then we scale. So, which
Yep.
portion do you provide
So
support?
So both. We provide support with both, right? So sometimes people come to us and they got teams in place and they got things, infrastructure, and they're ready to blow it up. Or they got team and they got some things going, but their infrastructure has some cracks in it. And then we have people who we support, and they're in the earlier phases as well. So they're still trying to figure out and get the marketing and sales like predictable as well. So we support both.
Love it, love it, love it. And you yourself host events, correct?
Yeah, 100%. We mainly do client. We've done big like enrollment type of events. We mainly do client only events right now in person, we do a lot of virtual events as well. Like I love
Absolutely.
events.
Absolutely. Definitely. You know, I
Yeah.
love it. So, with that being said, do you have an event that's coming up that you want everyone to attend? Or do you have something? How can people stay connected, get connected who are wanting to scale their business?
Yeah, so two things. So an upcoming event we got coming up. If you go to Scale, we do workshops called the Strategic Scale Workshops.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to scalethesmartway.com, that's scalethesmartway.com, you can get registered for an upcoming event. Also, if you go to scalemadeeasy.com, just scalemadeeasy.com, we got a ton of like resources on that page as well, where business owners can dive into regardless of like what phase they're in and start implementing for the business.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Marquel, thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else you want to leave? Anyone who is hearing you, any words of inspiration? I think you're very, very inspirational. So I
Thank you. Thank you.
ask that you leave a word of inspiration. Plus
Uh,
anything.
I guess I guess my biggest word of inspiration is like we literally live in the best time in the history of the world to be alive. Like regardless of what social media is saying, regardless of what the news is saying, like we literally live in the best time in the history of the world to be alive. Like the technology, the access, like it's unprecedented. And it's like we have ancestors who like built empires before us and they didn't have access to any other technology
Mhm.
that we have. So like lean in, take advantage of it. And because we live in historical times.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, there you have it, Marquel Russell. Oh, wait a minute. Dr. Marquel Russell.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
That's right. Oh my
Appreciate
gosh,
it.
that's so inspiring. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
everyone, make sure that you click on the links below to ensure that you get information from Marquel, the resources that he shared with us, and attend one of his events. So we'll talk soon. Thanks,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.